When I wore this suit, I made a whole lot of enemies.
You're Hawkeye!
Who the hell are you?
Hello and welcome back to A Stark Contrast, where we discuss the differences and similarities from Marvel Comics to their MCU counterparts. And we are your hosts, Geoffrey
and Dai. What's up?
What's up, everybody?
Dude, you know, every time you start, I have like this, I get like really giggly and quiet because it's almost like a feeling akin to the actual like Marvel fanfare. Like you start to hear and I'm like, I get giggly in a weird way, and I'm like, don't throw me off.
Every time I say the intro, I think that like
it's bright.
I feel like it's this bombastic experience that's happening.
It is, Geoffrey. It is. It resonates. So yeah.
Hello, everybody. We are back.
Episode 12.
Forgive me if you can hear it in my voice. I just came back from a boys trip in San Diego, so I am immensely dying.
Party boy over here. Man.
So I don't know if my voice is going to be.
You're good,
all
man.
There.
You're good.
I was also singing Usher on the way down here a lot.
Oh, is that right?
And I thought about it. I was like, the more I was singing, I was like, maybe I shouldn't be belting out right now in the car. I'm going to be talking for at least an hour.
It's good because you're supposed to I don't think I tell many people this, if at all, but when I used to do voice acting, right? Because I would have early calls, and so I'd have to be in the studio by like 8 a.m.
Yeah.
And driving like an hour or whatever. And so my pro tip to myself was like, you got a hard day ahead, put on some Destiny's Child.
Or something,
and you gotta go for it and just warm up them vocal cords.
Yeah, I have no reason hitting falsettos. Like, I have no reason at all to be doing that.
I mean, we've heard your Kiss from a Rose. That's pretty...
It sounds like a cat scratching a record.
No. So good.
Okay.
Oh my God. You're good, buddy. You're good.
What's on the panel today, Dai?
Okay, well, first things first, listener news. This one kind of tripped me out. And so, before recording, I was telling Geoffrey how, our stats for the show come in a little later than when we drop episodes. And so it takes some time for the analytics to kind of go through. But we got some new territories.
Another one?
Yeah. So believe it or not, this one, I mean, I'm going to facepalm for a sec because I'm like, no way.
It doesn't show how many people.
It doesn't show how many people.
There's someone that listened from there.
But it's like looking at that Black Widow board of the world.
Okay.
And little dots start picking up, and I'm like, snap. Okay, and so here we go. It's not just one.
Oh, two?
Yeah. Hold on.
Okay.
Okay. I'm
ready.
We have new listeners.
Okay.
In Portugal.
Yes.
So obrigada to all of our Portugal friends.
Nice.
Or obrigado if you're Geoffrey. Argentina. In Argentina. So gracias.
Wow.
I'm not done yet. Denmark.
Ooh.
So tak. I hope I'm saying that right. Tak, thank you.
No more than I do. I'm not even going to act like I know like any of these greetings. I'm not butchering anything right now.
And last but not least, this one blew my mind because it's even two territories within this country.
I'm waiting for it to get more obscure.
India.
Oh!
So hello to India.
Wow.
Dhanyavad. So thank you very much. Jeffrey's nodding his head. Yeah, I'm working on that accent, man. So yeah, thank you. I mean,
thank you guys.
That's kind of incredible.
Could it also be possible if like it's our usual listeners, but they're just traveling to
That's possible. I thought about it. I was like, where's my brother at right now? These are from the sources, and if Apple is telling me, hey, you got a person
doesn't matter.
India,
it's in the stats.
It's in the stats. So hi ho. Thank you guys.
Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you. Yeah, welcome. So this episode is an atypical sort where we break away from the usual character study, and we kind of hone in more on like what's going on in the Marvel universe. What are things that that seem to be more of a discussion that Geoffrey and I tend to have off mic. And so we named them Mini Marvel. I don't, it was kind of a name I just pulled out.
I mean, yeah, it works.
But did you know that it is an existing thing?
A mini Marvel?
A Mini Marvel is an existing thing in the Marvel universe.
I feel like I probably have strolled past it and didn't even think much about it.
Yeah, they were, and I figured, you know what? I should probably explain what they are. So they were comic strips written and drawn by an artist named Chris Giarrusso, and he's great. They're very Peanuts-like, if you will.
Like,
and so
like small, like...
Yeah, they're like chibis almost, if you will. And so they're like... They're very comic book strippy in the sense that there's only 3 panels. There's only 6 panels, and it's very quippy, very quick, and they're humorous. And so I figured, well, it's Mini Marvel, it's tiny and cute. Sure, let's go for it.
It works.
Yeah, it works.
It's sticking.
So I figured I would explain that for people who are like, what is a Mini Marvel? Is it like a miniature sized candy bar? Yes, in every way.
That would be great. Yeah.
And so, we're going to tackle some comments, some topics, some questions that we got. And second thing after listener news. So we had a couple of nice comments that I wanted to read to you, Geoffrey. And also just because, in all seriousness, like, we're so grateful that people are listening to this show at
100%,
all.
yes.
And so the least we can do is shout you out, and your kind words on the show itself. So on Instagram, we got a comment, a lovely, lovely comment from user Artistic Mayhems, who says, "Love what you guys put out each episode. Keep it up."
Woo!
And I'm just like, I'm blushing.
Thank you. Yeah, it means a lot to us.
Yeah. And from user Ariel Tima on Instagram as well. Just love your energy and excitement. It's been awesome to be able to see the growth and the confidence you guys have. Love the podcast and the quizzes for Geoffrey.
Yeah, those are probably my favorite too.
Yeah, I know. I gotta really get on that. Like, I want that to be like
a thing,
a position
thing,
on the show that I have to give you at least 3. Like, I have to. So I'm gonna try harder to do that. But if you're not familiar with those questions and quizzes, please revisit some of our older episodes because Geoffrey's response.
There's a lot of good tidbits.
So good.
Oh, speaking of that, I mentioned off mic to my friend Damien. Shout out to Damien. He's a listener of the podcast too.
Yeah.
He told me he listened to it, and then he remembers like one of the quizzes. And he was like, I don't know how you answered that. And it was the Iron Man Mark 85 question from the first episode.
That one still blows my mind.
He was just like, dude, I don't know how you know how many Iron Man suits have been in the MCU, but the fact that you answered it without even hesitating.
Without hesitation.
He was like, that's impressive. And I was like, yeah, dude, my memory is weird.
Gosh, it's so good. Oh my gosh, like, I wouldn't have been able to do it.
Yeah,
I would have been like 125.
Yeah, that's probably one of my favorite moments because I was just like, I was very confident. I was like, oh, I think I know this answer.
And you just see me. I was sitting in front of the laptop like, I'm going to pull a hard one. This is going to be challenging for him. And then he gets it on the first run. I'm just like, okay, well, I got to play a little harder. That was incredible. And so, right about now, we've got so much going on in the MCU. Like, Marvel has got a bunch going on in general. Doctor Strange is about to die in the books. If he just didn't die, I think he just died actually.
I saw that.
And the trial of Magneto's going on, but we're gonna kind of centralize the ideas and talk about the MCU for now. And so we're in the middle, if not nearing the end of What If. And so, so how are you enjoying those episodes?
I mean, I'm enjoying it. It's literally getting darker with each episode. I was just like, oh, they're going there because the first 4, first 3, 4 were definitely like, okay, yeah. It's like, what if you just implement this character in another story that you know? And I'm like, oh, cool, that's great, And then like the Doctor Strange episode came out, and I was just like, oh, okay,
yeah.
You think that the real Doctor Strange is going to defeat evil Doctor Strange, and no, he doesn't. He destroys the universe.
Well, yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's it.
It's done.
Damn.
And it's funny because, I saw a friend comment or make a post on Facebook, and he's not well versed in the comic books at all, and this is very new to him as well. And so he was just like, man, these What If the episodes are so dark, especially for Marvel. And I was like, bro, have you read anything?
Yeah.
Because honestly, like, tonally, it's even knowing the comic books and knowing that What If as a comic book series is gradually and as comparatively dark as the show.
Yeah.
I'm still surprised. Like, it still manages to, like, have me going, holy crap.
I know. Even the zombie one.
Yeah.
Like, I was just like, oh, they treated this episode as if it was like the first 5 minutes of Suicide Squad. I was like, oh my God.
Whoa. Yeah.
And then, we get to see Vision die again.
Again, because you didn't see that enough, right? And, of course, the segue to that is that there is an existing Marvel Zombies line. And there have been several waves of that in the comic books. It's a little different. They do talk. They're like cognizant of who they were.
Yeah.
But they're just as gruesome.
Yeah.
They look as gnarly. There's this one statue that used to haunt my dreams every time I walked into like this one comic shop as a kid, because I believe it was a statue. But it's the iconic cover of Spider-Man and Mary Jane's wedding. I don't know if you've seen this. And it's white background, and it's like a Spider-Man heart, and all the Avengers are behind him, and he's in his Spidey outfit, ironically enough. And she's in her beautiful wedding dress. But it's the zombie version.
Oh
and
my
so
God.
they're all zombies.
Jeez.
And a very eaten alive Mary Jane is like
my gosh.
bent over his arm.
Wow.
Of Spidey
That
Zombie's
sounds
arm.
dark.
Yeah. it's a lot of that. And I hope that this, like all the other stuff, I hope that it inspires people to be like, yo, Marvel has zombies? And it's like, yeah, this is the zombies didn't just like come out of nowhere from The Walking Dead or Resident Evil.
Yeah.
Like they've been around for just as long, if not longer.
And there's like a rumor that they might do a live action like Marvel Zombies movie.
I would die.
That'd be crazy to see.
I would love to see that.
Yeah.
I'd love to see that.
That would be very interesting.
Concerns, of course, because the zombie card has been played a lot. We're about to see it next year or so with The Last of Us.
Yes.
And so I wonder if that's like.
There's been a lot of like zombie movies probably in the last like 20 years.
Yeah, and even though not to stray too far from the topic, but with like The Walking Dead. So The Walking Dead is ending with season 10, but they're gonna pick up more shows. And so Daryl and Carol have a show coming out, and they were my favorite characters from the show.
Yeah.
And Carol wasn't so much my favorite in the comic books, but whatever. She dies in the first issue. Yeah, it's pretty crazy to think of that though. Like, wow. But given that there's still gonna be zombie quote unquote walker films coming out, shows coming out. Is it going to be overplayed?
I will say. I think it's just.
But I do like the animated version.
Yeah, it was.
Like,
it was pretty.
So good.
It's just a matter of how you do it.
Yeah.
In a way that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
For MCU, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. And also, I wonder if then they would continue using the actors again, because they have, for instance, Paul Rudd as a talking head in a jar.
That was so good. That was hilarious.
Oh my
to
gosh,
me.
I kept missing a beat after Okoye spoke to him. But the line that and that's why I kept rewinding it. But as a result, the joke that she drops, that Danai Grai drops in that moment, continuously has me rolling. Where she's like, "Do not cry, you'll fog up your jar."
That one's good. That one's good.
I just kept laughing so hard. But that's like the beauty and of the darkness, the dark humor of What If, and so how many episodes do they have left? I think it's two.
Two more, yeah.
So
either 2 or 3 more.
So which one is it? Because the Killmonger one so it's the.
I think there's a team up one.
The team up one, because it has to have the Guardians.
Yeah,
in it
and then I think, and that's when also one of them has
and then Chadwick.
Gamora is
Thanos.
In the Thanos gear.
Can I just tell you real quick, the reason why I have trouble remembering if it's Thanos, or I even have that problem, is because James Gunn shared that when he was testing Zoe and filming Zoe for Guardians of the Galaxy, she kept saying Thanos.
Oh, because she
kept saying Thanos, and he was like, Zoe, Thanos. And so she'd be like, Thanos. And so in my brain,
it's Thanos.
Because Zoe Saldana said Thanos. And so, yeah, that's going to be a great one. And then Chadwick's final one, I don't know which one that is.
I think I also saw a teaser that they're going to pay off they're going to pay off the ending to the Killmonger one because you see Pepper holding like a weapon along with Shuri.
Oh, interesting.
So I think they're gonna pay that off because that was like a story that they left untold.
Yeah, it's gonna be rad.
Excited.
It's such a good series. Such a good series. And then of course, after we released, I think we said at the top of Shang-Chi, if not Black Panther, but the Spidey footage dropped, and so that's coming up real quick.
Damn.
Yeah, exactly, right? Like literally after we dropped an episode, like, where's Spider-Man? The trailer dropped.
Where's Spider-Man?
And not only did the trailer drop, they announced the Spider-Man 2 game. And so we got some crazy Spidey news coming out. I know, I'm shaking my head.
They're just milking the hell out of Spider-Man.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Spider-Man 2, that's Sony's like
that's their bread and butter. Yeah. They have nothing else. Sorry, Sony.
I know,
you
so
literally
sorry,
have
Sony.
nothing else.
Like, the game is exactly why, and Spider-Man's presence is exactly why, like, Sony is one of my automatic stock, like, share buys.
Yeah.
So I'm like, they have Spidey. As long as they have Spidey, I'm going to keep investing. As long as they keep
doing that, it's kind of,
But correct me if I'm wrong. Is the second game only PS5?
No, I think it's gonna be a PS4 version. It's just.
Can you imagine having to like? I hope to have a PS5 by 2023.
I hope a lot of people have PS5, but I think so. I think they're still making it for both PS4 and PS5.
Okay. Well,
It's gonna be optimized differently.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm very excited for that.
Game or movie? Both.
Both.
Yeah, no, for sure.
The game too, because it's a great story from the first, and it carries into Miles Morales, and then it's this. Yeah. So, but in the movie, I'm just curious on just what are they what are they jam packing in this movie? Because already that trailer was a lot.
It was a lot.
A lot. It's basically almost Avengers level. Like
it is, which is kind of crazy. And then the fact that they renamed, like, what is it? Sony's Spider-Man universe or something?
Sony Spidey universe. I think. Yeah.
Which is like crazy.
Because they're just like, okay, well, we can't create a universe of any other hero, so let's just put Spider-Man at the center.
And so, a couple of my friends, well, at least my Twitter friends, have been like speculating nonstop. Like the minute that trailer dropped, one of them was just dissecting the entire.
I get
and
it.
I think I sent it to you,
and
I was like,
I've seen some of the dissections of like and assumptions of people on Twitter, and I'm like, you guys go crazy. I'll watch a trailer 2 to 3 times, but I will never like frame by frame it.
Can't do it.
I like enjoying just like the trailer,
right?
Being like, oh, this is exciting,
right? And so like I initially was combing through it, but then I stopped myself like 3 in, and I was like, whoa, no, because then that skews my perception. Yeah. And and this is exactly why I'm spoiler free, because I just like, I can't do it. But it's nice to see some of the Easter eggs people were noticing, and I was 100%, like, cool.
Yeah.
But also keep it away from me.
Yeah. I was telling you, I don't know when I told you this, but I was just like, I hope like Toby and Andrew Garfield are not in it, just to piss everybody off.
Wouldn't that be the most delicious irony that they're like not? They're just not in it at all,
or they have one line and they just leave.
And they leave. Yeah.
I would just be like, this is great, I love it, and people would be like, I wish they're like, yeah, because you wanted it.
Exactly.
Well, they're not.
Yeah. Exactly.
Sam Raimi's not making. I'm sorry.
Whoa.
I know. Sorry. That was.
Is it 2002?
Sorry.
Oh my gosh.
I'm pretty sure John Watts was just like.
Yeah. Yeah,
that'd be just the best thing if they literally just like swing in the frame and be like, hey.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
I mean, honestly, like, and that's what they that's the funny thing. Like when Toby and Andrew's Spider-Men showed up in Spider-Verse, the comic book, they were quite literally in it for 2 panels. And it was enough to be like,
and it's like, nice.
And then they immediately died after, or they were like done. And I was like, I'm satisfied.
It's like, yeah, cool.
They're cool.
You know they're canon. Cool. Yeah. Let's move on.
And it's one of those things where it's kind of like, people, of course, I was one of those people who was like absolutely loved Tobey Maguire and loved Andrew Garfield in both of their respective like time frames. But also like, I understand like, oh, it'd be great to have them again. But you have to understand, it's 20 years later for Toby.
Yeah,
and it's like,
it's not their story.
It's like 10, 15 years later for Andrew. Yeah. I mean, granted, Andrew kind of looks the same, but
it's not their story.
It's not. And it's like
the fact that we're able to even like entertain that possibility, should be good enough for itself.
I agree.
Because remember when Kevin Feige was talking about making an Avengers movie, everyone was like, "That's not possible. You can't get like 4 or 5 titular A-list, stars in a movie. Like that's never gonna work."
Right.
And it's like, well,
yeah,
it worked.
Yeah.
Astronomically.
Yeah.
Better than anyone thought.
Yeah.
And like now then you had Endgame and you're like, okay, wow, like no way, you can't have 20 superstars in a movie.
Hold my beer.
He did. He did it.
And he did it.
All of it in one frame.
And
so the fact that now you can like now we're talking about like, oh, you can't bring other actors from the same movies, but they're a different actor. Like, no way, you can't do that.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
it's like
they figured it out.
Yeah. So like the fact that we can toy with that possibility should be great in itself.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
And so we have by proxy of Spidey, we then have Venom coming out. We have Venom and Carnage even. We have Morbius coming out.
That's right.
In 2022, and then
that trailer came out January 2020. By the way.
Did it?
Yeah, I saw that on Twitter earlier.
Oh my god.
Yeah, the Morbius trailer came out.
That's true. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And was I still... Should I say it? Okay, well, not to stray too far. Maybe we'll even save most of this for our Morbius episode if and when it happens. But but I used to work for a public figure. We both did, actually. Geoffrey and I both did. And so I don't know that said public figure was filming at the time that I was still there.
Oh, okay.
I believe the script was being kept under wraps because Sony wouldn't let it leave. And so I didn't get to read it, but I think there was preparation being made. And so to think back to that, that's crazy.
Yeah.
2020. Can you imagine your film coming out?
I know.
Holy smokes. Well, I guess Scarlett can, and so can Gal Gadot. But from that, I mean, I added a sticker quite a while ago when Aaron Taylor Johnson had just gotten cast as Kraven the Hunter.
Oh, that's right.
And I checked on it today because like in our, and I mentioned this on social media, but on our Instagram, in the highlights, we have a section for fondue. And I know it doesn't mean what it means in the MCU, but I just like to keep it there. And 60% of people that answered that poll are not down for him as Kraven the Hunter.
Wow.
And I don't know how much you know about Kraven.
Not much. Very surface level,
Yeah, he's crazy. And he's a hunter. And he's like big game sort of persona. And so I will like readily say off the bat that, when they had casted him, I was just like, so does that mean Quicksilver's not coming back at all?
Dead. Forever.
So sad.
Get over it, guys. You didn't see that coming?
I know. Oh, but now we have like Ralph Boner, I guess. But I mean, whatever. It's fine. But it's interesting because I honestly would not have expected Aaron Taylor Johnson. I really was vying for somebody like Joe Manganiello.
Yeah.
Like he was kind of, or Maggiano, whatever you want to say his last name. Yeah, exactly. Joe, the guy from True Blood.
Yes.
I thought he would have been incredible. I know he's DCEU. That's fine. He's great in there too. I really wanted him. I can't readily remember who else I wanted, but that was kind of like the thought. And so now we have Aaron Taylor Johnson. And so I guess I wonder if, because, Sony might be kind of leaning more into multiverse vibes and all that.
Yeah.
Like, do you think that they're still gonna try and go Sinister Six or another branch off that isn't related to Spider-Man 3? I
don't see how they steer away from Spidey. At least Tom Holland's Spider-Man.
Right, because at the heart of it, it's him. Where's Spider-Man?
Exactly.
Where's Spider-Man?
It's always him. And if you do a Sinister Six, which I think is what looks like they're teasing right now. They're
trying to, apart from the movie, they're trying to do a Sinister Six film, I
mean, yeah.
And it's like...
I mean, you can totally do that. It's just, you just have to make it make sense. Because, I feel like it's like... I feel like Sony and Marvel are playing like a tug of war with Tom Holland's Spider-Man, and
Absolutely.
it's like Sony's Spider-Man can't exist without Marvel, but Marvel's MCU Spider-Man can't exist without the cooperation of Sony.
Right.
So it's kind of it's this fine line of like, okay, is this side happy, but still staying in this like creative side for the MCU?
Yeah.
But then Sony's being like ooh, yeah, that's MCU Spider-Man. But then also it's like, let's put him in our Spider-Verse. And it's like, okay, well, you're just going to war Tom Holland to the bone. I'm sure he loves playing Spider-Man. He's made that very clear. But it's just like...
It can completely...
I'm sure as an actor, creatively, you're going to get burnt out.
Exactly. And I have no doubt that, someone like RDJ...
There's a reason,
probably said it to him, like, kid...
Like, look...
I get it.
Yeah.
You have a long time in these shoes, but careful, especially because he's he's split between these two parental like studios.
Basically, yeah.
Is not so cuckoo to me. And so I'm kind of like, all right, but it's kind of like Spider-Man 3 with Andrew and Tobey, where we're wondering now with every freaking movie that comes out, is he going to be in Venom? Is he going to be in Venom and Carnage? Is he going to be in? And then he never ends up in it. They talk about him. They say his name once, and everyone's like, "Yay!" But how long is that going to work? And is that going to work for Kraven the Hunter? Are people really going to go see a Kraven the Hunter film without Spider-Man?
How long can you really keep Spider-Man relevant?
Yeah,
I guess what I'm trying
in films?
especially in film.
Because how dare you?
Sorry.
As I drink out of my Spider-Man water bottle.
Because it's because you had the Tobey trilogy and it was great. Like nothing can touch that,
Well, 2.5.
And then you have Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man, and it's like, okay. And then you reboot it again with the MCU Spider-Man. So it's like, can you keep making Spider-Man movies for the next 6 more years? Yeah.
It's true. It's kind of crazy, you know? So I don't know. I guess we'll see.
I guess we'll see how this trilogy ends, if it's ending.
If it ends, I feel like honestly, in all honesty, I know that's like the rule of 3. Like the actor gets their 3 movies, and they do maybe a couple of more cameos, and they're done. I don't know. I feel like Holland is gonna get another rejiggering of his contract. He's gonna be in it for a little longer.
But do you want to see like a Spider-Man 5?
Yo, if he's an adult, sure. If he's still in high school, I'm done. I'm over with it.
True.
Okay, because quickly, segue. So I was talking to a friend about this earlier. All right, so imagine, if you will, when you think of the timeline and the time frame of these films, right? So we were thinking, okay, I found that awesome tidbit that somebody did the homework for Shang-Chi. And they figured out, okay, that happens on Chinese Day of the Dead. It's April 4th or something. Okay. This is the year after the snap. Okay. So it's 2023. It's April 4th, 2023.
Yes.
So you think, okay, Shang-Chi. So Zhilang was 6 years old? Whatever. So, the time frame. Do the math. So that puts Ling Ling at 20 to 22 years old in present day. Okay. Shang-Chi is 26 to 28. Okay. And then Yelena Belova is apparently 34. But if she got snapped, you take 5 away, she's 29. Okay. And then you do the math for Peter Parker. Homeboy is still 17. Why is he still 17?
Because he got snapped.
I can't deal. Yeah, so I mean, if you count the snap, then he would be 22. So I'm like, still?
Maybe he's more adult in No Way Home. Maybe, I don't know.
I am genuinely hoping he's only in high school for the first 10 minutes. And then it's like Amazing Spider-Man 2. He's graduating. Yeah. And this is all...
That would be great.
All a college excursion type deal.
That would be great to see.
Please.
He's like, I'm an adult now.
Heavens, please. Yeah. So, that's that.
We will see. I got exhausted just talking about like this Spidey, because it's so dense.
Yeah.
So much.
It's so much constantly. And I think it's a huge thing on the war or the battle, the ongoing battle. Once it goes one way or another, I mean, this is just how it's going to be.
Like,
Period. And so, from that, I'm going to jump over to my favorite topic, apparently. Well, second after Spider-Man. Hawkeye.
Yes.
So we got the Hawkeye trailer.
Yes.
And that's exciting.
I loved it
Isn't it so
much.
great?
I had so much fun watching it.
Yeah.
I'm also a sucker for Christmas songs.
So is that your holiday?
It's just like, no matter like when it comes to just like, because when I think of holidays, you think of like the songs associated with it. Because I grew up in a car, basically, like driving on the freeway and everything.
Yeah.
So like during holidays, I would always listen to the radio, whatever. Like when it comes to like Halloween, you know, Coast 103.5 in LA would always play Monster Mash. You know, it's a mash. So like growing up and like
Usher.
in the mornings in cars, as I'm like slowly dozing off to sleep and then waking up, I just hear those classic songs.
Yeah.
So during Christmas. Well, all I hear is, you know, the Mariah Carey, the Michael Bublé,
forever.
like, and I wake up and that's what I associate with.
That immediately, by the way, tells what decades we're from. Because in my head, I'm like, yeah, I remember my dad used to put CDs in the 5 CD holder, and they were all holiday, and it was the Carpenters and Frank Sinatra with Mariah Carey. We still had Mariah Carey back then, but it had just come out in that day. But yeah, I feel the same way.
And then I think of Home Alone.
Yeah.
I think of him just looking up in like a Rockefeller Center, the big tree being set up, and I'm like, that's an ABC Family just reruns.
Yes.
For the 25 days
and
of
the Christmas Story on repeat for 48 hours.
Yeah.
The best.
So like when I think of like Christmas,
the
it's
vibe.
Like, and it's like my favorite weather too.
Yeah.
Like cold.
So
like,
Hawkeye is like getting all of your.
It's like right up there. It might sneak in to be like, when you think of Christmas classics, what do you think of? I think of Home Alone, Mariah Carey,
Die Hard.
Hawkeye, Die Hard.
And that's what I feel like they're kind of leaning into.
Yeah.
They're like, you know, Die Hard was a Christmas film, technically.
Yeah.
And so they're kind of like, you know, what if we did a Hawkeye Christmas?
Yeah, and it makes total sense.
Yeah.
Like, I had so much fun watching it. I was like, this is great.
Yeah, it's great.
It looks like it's going to be incredibly funny, and it looks like it allowed like Jeremy Renner to kind of like, obviously it's a show, so we're gonna see more development out of him.
Yeah.
But him to act differently as Hawkeye than what you've seen in like in the movies.
Because he's, you know, speaking of, he's kind of gravitated from this sort of like dry humored archer to a more
very
of a
serious
butt of a
soldier,
joke to a freaking Ronin samurai.
Yeah.
And then back again.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of like, okay, how did that journey really affect Clint? And also, you know, as you see in the trailer, now there's Haley Steinfeld, and then Lucky.
Yes.
Lucky. Yeah, you follow Jolt on Instagram if you haven't already. But Jolt plays Lucky, who is the golden retriever with one eye in the show. And honestly speaking, and this is another trailer not trailer so much, but another conceptual thing that came to be like 2 years ago as well, because I saw the little preview at Comic-Con. Mm-hmm. And so when they played, it was like literally like 15 seconds. I mean, whatever that treatment, the tile treatment was.
Okay.
Epically identical to the comic book, the
nice.
2013, 12.
Who's the
Matt Fraction and David Aja.
The Matt Fraction run, yes.
Oh my God.
I saw that.
By the way, did you see my tweet? I got
yes.
another graded comic.
I saw that.
It's so good. And genuinely my favorite run of the character. But and it's very reminiscent. I thought maybe they're just taking it for the art style, but with this trailer, tonally, it's the book. Like page it's the to page, book for sure.
Like literal.
Yeah, and I was looking at it today. I was looking at because I found a new account that's just like all Hawkeye gifs.
Nice.
And the person managing it is starting to do ones from the trailer, and I was like, you know what? I hadn't noticed it first few times I watched it, but now I'm starting to see how they're playing into the importance of color in the show. Already you can tell, because the purple is really striking, and they stand out amid this, like it's from Bed-Stuy, like so it's like, New York-y city.
Yeah.
It's not so vibrant in some parts. It's more dismal. And then from what I could tell, like I mentioned to you, there are these characters named the Tracksuit Bros.
Yes.
And they
you sent me that straight.
Yeah,
that
they're
comics,
so funny, and they just wear red. And I noticed. I was like,
noticed that too.
And I noticed it.
Yeah.
In the gifts, I was like, oh, they are wearing, because I didn't want to go back and rewind, because I was like, no, I want to be fresh. But seeing the gifts and seeing that they're prominently in red and they're prominently in purple, and then the backdrop is just more muted, is very derivative of the comic books.
Nice.
Because,
so they like.
Yeah, David Aja's like treatment of drawing is very minimalistic, very muted tones, very like tri-colored, like whereas other modern books or books in general are very gradient. There's lots of like detail in some, and he's very muted, straight up block palettes. So purple, beige, red, black, nothing in between. And so it gives the book itself so much character, because the story really is a character of its own. And so I see that detail-oriented sort of treatment in the trailer alone. Yeah. And the humor, and it's, you can tell.
I know. I was like, something like kind of like in the realm of like more on the comedy side.
Right.
Think about it, because WandaVision really wasn't like that.
No, that was a curveball of curveballs.
Falcon and Winter Soldier definitely was not like that. Loki had those moments, but I felt like it was so cosmic and so like very just like otherworldly. It's like the comedy was definitely there. Yeah. But then when it comes to Hawkeye, I was just like, oh, this is gonna be like kind of like humorous. Yeah. I'm all for it. This might be because every series that Disney Plus has released for Marvel, like I've fallen in love more with like that titular character. Yeah. Like Wanda, like obviously I fell in love with Wanda. You
just get so of course.
And then Falcon, just like I was just like, you just feel more with the character, him and Bucky. And then Loki too, you're just like, oh man, okay. And then now it's like, okay, cool. We got Jeremy Renner's Hawkeye. And then I get to fall in love with Kate Bishop.
Yes, Kate Bishop,
And I was just like, I guess I might be a Kate Bishop stan at the end of this series.
I'm calling it. By the end of November, you're going to be like, this is a Kate Bishop standing account now.
Yes, I'm going to retweet my previous 2 tweets.
And you're going to have the Kate Bishop icon. I can see it already. Yelena's already jealous.
I still have Yelena for at least another like 2 months.
Right. And I love, the distinction is not only in those factors, but also like you see it in the trailer when Kate bursts through the window and she's like, ow.
Like not superhero at all.
No, it's not even that she's a noob. It's like, that's going to be the tone of the show, that they're taking these like, because, he was playing with gods and he was with like agent super spies. Yeah. And, the pose is a perfect example. Yeah. Like Kate Bishop and Clint Martin aren't going around doing the superhero pose. They're falling out of windows. They're landing on cars. They're saying futz instead of and, it's imperfect, but that makes for good storytelling. Yeah. And I'm excited because he is the perfect candidate to really kind of pay homage to the books in this way. Yeah. Because he's not perfect. He's a human being. I feel like they're really going to push in that part of him, that he is the most human being of the original 5. And here we go. Now we're going to see this entire new era fold in with a new Hawkeye. Yeah.
I wonder what kind of surprises are going to be in this.
I know.
I mean,
because I think as much as they're pulling from comics, I don't think it's going to be the same story.
Yeah, like do you really think the Tracksuit Gang is going to be like the main villain?
No way. No way. Especially knowing that Yelena is in it.
Yeah. I don't know how many episodes she will make a cameo in. But we know that she's in it, but I wonder like what reveal of a baddie or how they're gonna tie in the show into where it currently because Eternals comes out during it.
And just before.
Okay. Yeah.
Because it's the top of the month.
Yeah, and then it finishes right before Spider-Man comes out. I'm assuming.
We still have Ms. Marvel.
Yes. They haven't even announced that yet.
Yeah, and so I guess it's kind of interesting in that each one of these series is setting up for a bigger picture, a literal bigger picture. Yeah. And so with WandaVision in particular, like we have that setting up Doctor Strange 2.
Yeah, that set up Doctor Strange 2.
And then with Falcon and Winter Soldier, you kind of have that setting up Captain America 4. with Loki, sheesh.
It's set up Ant-Man, Quantumania, basically.
Pretty much. And then now we have Hawkeye, which could be setting up
something.
And so the question is like, what is the something?
Yeah.
Because Ms. Marvel will be setting up the Marvels.
Captain Marvel.
Yeah, Captain Marvel too.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's like,
And then who knows what Eternals can be setting up.
Exactly.
I mean, we know they're going to touch on what happened in Endgame and Infinity War.
Yeah.
But then it's like, now we're getting to like even much bigger sizes of like cosmic proportion when it comes to Eternals. Now you're bringing the Celestials in.
Yeah.
And Deviants, which is definitely things we haven't seen like extensively in the MCU yet.
Right.
So especially Celestials, who are like just these otherworldly beings. We got a taste of it with Ego and like the kind of power like they hold.
And the nowhere floating head.
Yeah. But
I wonder if we get to see that origin, by the way. Because, like that.
I'm sure.
For those of you who don't understand what the heck I'm even referring to, in Guardians 1, that giant floating head that the Guardians go to when they get in a fight and it has the yellow goop and they go see the Collector's Museum, that's the Celestial's head. It's the head of a dead Celestial.
Yeah.
And
that's huge.
And it's gigantic.
Huge.
And so it's kind of like now they're introducing this really like expansive universe of cosmic characters, and so it's like, holy cannoli, are we really like ready? Are we ready for this to really go cosmic?
I keep rewatching the Eternals final trailer because I've never seen a Marvel movie that is gonna have that look.
Yeah.
I mean, all credits to Chloe Zhao.
Yeah.
But I keep repeating, like, this movie is gonna look like
it's gonna be wild.
Look unlike any other Marvel movie.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
that's tough to do.
I mean, yeah, and also, I mean, if Shang-Chi is any sort of example of that, maybe we're really steering into something, uncharted territory for the studio.
Like,
yeah.
just, oh my god,
and just aesthetically as well.
And the Fantastic Four,
Silver Surfer.
They just that's the thing about like these Marvel movies. It's like they're just gonna. There's no real finite end.
Yeah. No, exactly.
Something's always going to tease something. Like, obviously, the end of Shang-Chi, spoiler, end of Shang-Chi with the beacon and the rings.
Yes.
It's like, who? Yeah. Who is it?
Who and what? When?
Like, please.
Why?
Guys, like,
How?
You can't do this to us, man. Like,
but they can. And they are.
It's so frustrating.
I just want to see Galactus eat an actual planet. Like, physically hold it in his hand and go, nom,
That's true.
nom.
Yeah.
And then the Silver Surfer being like, I did my job. I don't know why he sounds like Jarvis, but yes.
Yeah.
So, how about a listener question?
Yes.
So, speaking of, I believe this is your friend, I don't know, Damien L. Cruz.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, wait, Damien? Yeah. Coincidence?
That's my guy.
What's up, Damien? What's up? He asked, what's your guys' all-time favorite costume for any character?
Ooh, that's
tough.
A good one.
I've been thinking of it since I saw this.
Wow.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I'm a slump in my seat real quick.
Wow.
Yeah.
I really do like Shang-Chi's outfit, but I like
the final outfit.
Yeah, like my friend that she posted like on her Instagram story like a review of the movie on her end, and he was in jeans and Jordans.
Yep.
Which is great. He's a very grounded superhero, but I'm like that scaly
the
outfit. It's so like you need something,
and it has purpose.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean that it's not your favorite?
It's not.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I like it. I love the top half of it. Yeah. But I wish it was...
The rest.
Yes.
He's going to get a glam up. Like, we all know they're going to get glow
there's
ups.
a new suit in every movie coming after.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
That's tough.
Which, by the way, completely random. I didn't realize this until my third viewing. Xialing is wearing the mom's outfit when, like... in that scene when they're in Palo.
Yeah.
And she's watching the girls and the guys integrating in the training. She's wearing the mother's dress. I didn't even realize that. I meant to note that, but yeah.
Okay. I gotta rewatch it now.
Yeah, she's wearing the green outfit. I was like, whoa.
Oh, yes. Yes, I do remember that.
It's her mother's outfit.
I think I have my outfit.
Yeah?
I think.
I ain't gonna have it. Go for it.
I think Captain America's Nomad outfit.
Oh,
throughout Infinity War.
Nomad.
Yeah,
Nomad.
That one. I think also Chris Evans' beard and hair.
And Chris
also
Evans.
And
just Chris Evans.
But like that outfit, just how just like so mysterious and inconspicuous it was.
But strictly based on aesthetic or everything?
Just everything.
Yeah.
Like it looks so cool. It was so cool looking.
Yeah. Dang. I can't not agree with you because that is a great one, and especially when you think about the story behind it.
Exactly.
And that's what really makes it. And then being sentimental fools and all. I don't know. Man. I don't know who I favor. I will say that and maybe I've touched on this a bit before, and maybe you can tell from like my general aesthetic, but I loved Nebula when she first came out. The purple and blue combos, I was like, whoa, that's pretty cool. Yeah. And then the headpiece and all of that, and even the arm. I just thought that she had such a presence for something that's like, something like we hadn't seen before, especially in contrast to everybody else. But she's far from like my favorite. She was just very eye-catching to me. Yeah. Am I going to be basic right now? I think I'm going to be basic. And this isn't my Guardians roots showing. I love, there are a few things I love more than Peter Quill in Volume 2 with that stupid shirt that now says, oh my gosh. When I was live tweeting Guardians 2, the watch
the live watch
the cast,
party, yeah.
Freaking oh my gosh, who plays Mantis again?
Oh, Palm Clementine.
So when we were doing the live tweeting and Palm, I believe she quote tweeted me because I made a joke about the shirt. Yeah. And she says that they call it Kebab Becky. I was like, what? It looks like Kebab Becky. So he's wearing the Gear Shift Kebab Becky shirt. It's not so much the shirt, but it's everything else. Yes. And so I love the jacket. I love the long stuff, or the long one. Yes. So like the chain scene is like my favorite thing. The slow-mo, the trio are walking out of the Milano. And so I love the scarf. The scarf, theorized, continues on after the snap. Yeah. As we see on Rocket Raccoon.
Yes, that he's wearing it,
in Endgame. And so I love that outfit because that's kind of an homage to his comic book outfit. And I love Rocket for obvious reasons, as you can tell as he walked in.
Wow. Oh my God. That was like the most impeccable timing.
Rocket, come here.
Okay. Wow.
And so I'm a sucker for that. I don't know what it is. Yeah. I just like the composition of it. And I like how there's so many details in the suit itself. Yeah. And it's like junky, but at the same time pretty classy and cool and like rock-like. Yeah. From the communicator to the pockets and the shoulder thing. Yeah. I love that kind of aesthetic. And so every time like the El Capitan or when it was open, the ArcLight used to have like the costumes out for every film. Yeah. I would like just like press up against the glass and like looking at all the details. Like, dang, dude, this is so cool. So I know that's probably a lame answer. But
I have two more that just popped in my head. I have two more.
Okay, go.
One is back on the Captain America, but the new Captain America, Sam Wilson. Yeah. I really like that common accurate suit that he got at the end, at the finale. And then, and it's from Wakanda, which is even better. It's great. And like I thought I was like,
do you think he's gonna get a glow up?
I don't know if it's gonna be a complete glow up. Yeah. Maybe there might be some adjustments because he's an engineer himself. Like he can work on it. Yeah. So I don't think it'll be like a complete glow up. I don't know how you glow up from that from like.
I think it's a glow down, not a glow down like in a bad way, but I feel like they might even simplify it.
Simplified it. Maybe like the tech will get a little bit more advanced depending because he's already got like an advanced X-wing or Red Wing. Yeah. So it's like, okay. Yeah. And then I think my other favorite that just came to mind, I was like, I can't believe I left this out because, she's bae. Wanda. Her final outfit. That's a good one. That's like true. I remember when I first. Oh my God! Let me tell you. I probably said it in the Wanda episode.
I think you and Steven both said it.
Yeah, but it was just like. Because all she's been wearing was that red jacket, very street clothes.
Hot Topic.
It's just, she's been wearing that. It's like kind of street clothes level, nothing like real like bombastic, out there. And she got like that with the headpiece, her final form, you know, with the dress and just she's floating, the cloak.
Yeah.
I was just like,
I dig the cloak look too.
Yeah, and it's like okay, how do you keep it? How do we get to her comic book costume without making it look like her comic book costume? How do we elevate it? You know? Yeah. And then they did knocked it out the park. Job. The headpiece, I don't know why. I love that headpiece.
If I bought you that headpiece, would you wear it?
I would wear it everywhere.
I'm gonna remember that.
I'm gonna be.
That's a good one though. Your fingers. Yeah, I mean, fingers, like, wiggly
little,
fingers.
Like what did he say? Little wiggly woos.
The wiggly woos. Oh my gosh, that's a good one. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You know what though? I will shout it out. Like pivoting from her, Doctor Strange.
I was trying to think about Doctor Strange, but I was just like,
it's a weird costume.
Yeah,
it's a weird costume.
But I was like, well, has he had many other forms of it besides like that? Like,
no, well, a little bit because in Doctor Strange the film and then the cut scene leading into Thor, he had the yellow gloves like in the comic books, and his collar was more pronounced. And
I also really love the cloak.
Yeah, it's the cloak. Let's face it, it's the cloak. Gosh, yeah, I don't.
But after No Way Home comes out, I might have to move that parka suit, whatever that he's wearing in the trailer
with his mug.
Yeah, like he's
no
like,
fox given.
Yeah, like and he's wearing like a full on like New York like winter like coat.
For fuck's sake, sorry.
like he's wearing like a whole New York winter coat, like a parka almost, and then he has the levitation cloak over it. And I was like,
I personally cannot wait until people are walking around conventions again wearing that outfit like they were.
Everyone in New York is gonna wear that and be like, oh, Doctor Strange is wearing a parka.
Yeah,
I'm
gonna wear a parka, and I bet you those mugs sold like hotcakes on Etsy.
Oh yeah.
For fuck's
sake.
So
I think those are for sure like.
I'm still trying to think of one. Yeah.
Wanda's headpiece. I don't know. That headpiece is just so elegant and so like for the time that it is. It's like
and symbolic in many ways too, which I appreciate. Whoa. Yeah. Okay. 5 more seconds to think. Is that it? Is that it? I think so. Those are great answers. Yeah. Those are really good answers.
I just can't wait to see Wanda just mess everything up or save everything. I don't know.
All right. And so more from Instagram, I put up a sticker way back when, not so much of a conversation piece, but I added, I think it was on the heels of our Jessica Jones episode, like which Defender would you save for the MCU? So, I mean, the listeners voted Jessica Jones. Shock. Which is, actually kind of a shock because if you have Daredevil...
How close was it, though?
It was very close.
Between Daredevil.
Yeah, I think Iron Fist literally got 0 votes.
I mean, yes.
but between Daredevil and Jessica Jones in particular, tight race. Yeah. Tight race. And it was kind of like the episode when we were choosing who we were going to do it on. It was super duper tight. But Jessica prevailed. And so I know you're not as familiar with them, but if you could only choose one, who would it be?
After rewatching a lot of the clips and everything from the shows, because I did watch Jessica Jones, I did watch Daredevil. I think I watched maybe a little bit of Luke Cage. Definitely didn't watch Iron Fist.
Poor Daddy.
I just go back to Daredevil just solely because of the one take fight scenes.
Oh, I know.
Those movies. And it was just like really good.
Chris Brewster, man.
And then you also go back to Vincent D'Onofrio as Wilson Fisk. Yes. And I'm like, oh, this guy's
what do you think about that, by the way? Like people were speculating, he was liking tweets from Spider-Man 3. And then he told everyone promptly to be like, settle the F
chill.
down.
Like,
he's
come
like, chill.
on. First of all, even if they were in it or not, do you know how strong NDAs are?
Exactly.
Like no one's gonna. This goes back to like what I was telling you about. Like I feel bad for Andrew Garfield going on this press tour.
Oh my god!
And all they keep asking him is No Way Home stuff.
I know.
And it's like,
leave him alone.
Keep asking him. He has an NDA. It doesn't matter. He signed the strongest of NDAs that you could possibly sign. So if you think if you're gonna get any information out from any of those actors. You really, oh my God, go back to school and like unsend your freaking journalism degree. Because holy crap, man.
I know,
like,
right? They just want them clicks. That's all they want is clicks.
Tom Holland doesn't even talk about No Way Home. Zendaya doesn't even talk about No Way Home.
I feel like they're just like off the radar, just like don't do anything. Stay
the amount
right.
of press they're getting for this movie without even having to say a word about it
is nuts.
Yeah. This movie is gonna make another $1 billion.
Literally.
In the middle of a pandemic.
Yeah, exactly.
It will. I think No Way Home hits, if not a Billy, it's hitting pretty close. At least 800.
Yeah.
That's my prediction for this movie.
Write it down. Put it in the books.
So.
But yeah, Daredevil.
Daredevil. I'll say Daredevil just because.
I know, as much as I love Jess, as much as I need Jess back, I'm gonna go with.
And then Daredevil has a lot of connections with characters already, like in the MCU.
Oh my god, easily and this is why it's so difficult to imagine the MCU without Daredevil, let alone Charlie Cox playing Matt Murdock, because if the minute, of course, you think, oh well, Peter Parker's out now people know. He's gonna need the lawyer up. Well, who's a lawyer in the Marvel universe? In New York City. Yeah. Imagine. Well, could it be the blind guy from Hell's Kitchen? And then, of course, that then spawns the idea that we still have a She-Hulk show coming, and Jennifer is a lawyer.
Yes.
And beyond just being
that
Hulk's cousin, and so it's kind of like they have all these opportunities to really like play up and really flesh out Matt Murdock as a hero and his presence in the MCU as one of the older heroes, and so I really hope they do take that chance, and then that the other three follow. If it only ended up being Jess and Luke Cage, and then like Iron Fist is kind of like okay.
Here if you need me.
I really think that Shang-Chi is like, because of Shang-Chi, his importance is now starting to be skewed a bit. And how they deal with that, that'll be curious.
Kicked out the crew. Sorry.
Yeah, I really wonder if
I know
what they're going to do with that. But I just thought that was really interesting, and I hope that Daredevil prevails and he ends up being in it. And so speaking of Spidey, I recently asked, based off of an image from the iconic deaths of the Spider-Man films, which MCU Spidey death broke you. And so the choices on Instagram were Tobey Maguire's Peter Parker and Uncle Ben, Andrew Garfield's Peter Parker and Gwen Stacy, Miles Morales from Into the Spider-Verse and Uncle Aaron. Or Tom Holland's Peter Parker and Tony and Iron Man. So on the polls, I am kind of shocked about this. Miles and Uncle Aaron actually won.
I was going to say that too.
Really?
Thinking about it, that was a very good story.
Oh, I mean, Into the Spider-Verse is genuinely...
Yeah, in general, that movie is just great.
Perfect. And I remember like seeing it because, I got to see it at the friends and family screening, thanks to my buds. Robbie Rodriguez and Rico Renzi. And so I remember coming out of it, not only because obviously like Gwen is in it. That's great.
Yeah.
But in all sincerity, as a gigantic Spider-Man fan, that is the best Spider-Man movie they've ever done. Like, period. And it's so original in the fact too, like the source material is surely, pulled from various places, but the way that they nailed that movie. Whew.
Yeah, it was so much fun, like just from like beginning to end. Like, it didn't feel too crowded. It didn't
and they had 5 characters to introduce.
A lot.
At least 5.
A lot.
And their respective universes.
Yeah.
So.
And it just made sense.
That's a feat.
Yeah.
In a 2-hour movie?
Yeah. Can I make a joke that I saw on Twitter about Spider-Man?
Go for it.
It was just funny because I was just like, oh man, that's messed up.
No.
So someone said like, because there's all these rumored castings in No Way Home, and someone was like dang, like who isn't gonna be in the new Spider-Man movie? And someone retweeted, someone was like Uncle Ben. No!
Oh God, I hate him.
That's hilarious. That's good. That's good.
The best cosplay I've ever seen at a convention?
Which was?
Spider-Man sitting on the floor holding a box of Uncle Ben rice. It's my god, because he just walks around, sits on the ground, and he just stares at the box, and he'll stay there for like an hour. And everybody, it's so funny because it's kind of like what's his name doing his artistic like exercises.
Yes.
And sitting what's Shia LaBeouf.
Oh yeah, like and performative.
Very performative. And so like instead of sitting in a chair and staring at people who come sit next to him, this Spider-Man would literally sit on the floor. And you get to see what people do. Like some people take a picture. Some people will straight up sit next to him and like put their head on his shoulder. I went by and I gently patted his head. I was like, there, Spidey. And like people come in character, they're Venom, they're taunting him. Like it's just the funniest thing. And I'm like, oh, these freaking Uncle Ben jokes. It's
so good.
They never get old.
They don't.
They don't. That's interesting. So Miles and Uncle Aaron for you.
Yeah, because I remember that one definitely. Even like the storyline they have in the Spider-Man.
Shameik Moore was so good too.
Which one?
Shameik Moore as like Miles was just incredible.
Even like the storyline they had, because it was kind of the same storyline for the game Miles Morales for PS4.
Yeah, that's true.
And it was pretty. It was along the same lines of.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Dang.
And it was really still well played.
God, I feel like that was like forever ago, and it was just last year.
Same. I know.
But yeah, like for those of you who don't play in the game, Miles's father does indeed pass away. And then you have to fight Uncle Aaron as the Prowler. And that scene was actually pretty intense because like it's like a fisticuffs. He's like, come on, boy, let's go. And you have to like fight your uncle in a subway station. Like, what?
Did he kill him?
I don't believe so.
No, that's not a Spidey thing. That's not a Spidey thing to do.
No, he didn't. He like took off. He took off and then he had to fight his friend. His friend ended up being the big baddie.
Yes.
But Uncle Aaron was, but Uncle Aaron just took off. He just took off.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, you know what? I mean, I'll be honest. I had heart palpitations when I watched Gwen Stacy die on screen.
It's one of the more gruesome deaths I've seen.
Oh, it's awful. And the crack of whiplash. I know.
I was just like, oh no. I was like, I can't watch this.
And it was just so much worse because she actually made contact with the floor.
And you see it.
And I
was just like, I don't want to see this right now.
Oh my gosh, it was so painful. It was so painful.
I was like, who let them put this in the movie?
But it's a testament of exactly why for so long they felt like they couldn't. Like they didn't, I remember reading back in the day, like why did they bring Mary Jane instead of Gwen Stacy first and foremost, instead of telling the story quote unquote proper?
Yeah.
And people were like, well, you can't kill the leading lady. And it's like, well, I mean, you can.
Psych!
I know. And so instead, Sony's resolve for that was that, let's put Mary Jane in an homage outfit of Gwen Stacy. So like the first time you see Mary Jane, she's got a black headband, she's got a green like coat thing, and she's wearing purple. And I was like,
interesting.
Okay. But then you see it in Amazing Spider-Man 2, and I was like, oh no. I remember when those pictures popped up, like while they were filming, and I was like, oh God. Because, as a Spider-Man fan, you see green, purple, and black together on Gwen Stacy, you know what that means. Oh. That means death.
It's not good news.
It's not, it wasn't like her traditional outfit.
Yeah.
It was the outfit.
Rip.
So, severe rip. So, I don't know. That was a pretty hard one for me.
Yeah,
and I really wanted to see in this again is why I really wish they hadn't cut Shailene Woodley out as Mary Jane, because I did want to see like what happened, what went on from there.
Yeah.
But of course we never get to see that. I don't know. Maybe Spider-Man 3 will tell us a little bit more about what happened over there.
We will see. Maybe, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I think to agree with you and everyone else, I think Miles and Uncle Aaron is a big deal. It's a big deal.
Incredibly.
So good. And every time I see it, I still cry. And it's an animated movie, so what does that say about me? We have another listener question from friend of the pod.
Yes.
Peter Melnick.
Yeah.
He had to do this. But, actually, it's a pretty good thought-provoking question.
Okay.
Which Marvel character is most likely to have been in a submarine?
Whoa, okay. Wow. Didn't see that one coming. In a submarine?
Very on brand for Peter Melnick, yeah. Which honestly, I was like, you know what? That's true because like Bucky wouldn't ride a submarine. He's like, no, confining. Reminds me too much of the pod.
Dr. Banner wouldn't either.
Dr. Banner. Oh yeah, and he even says it. He's
gonna put me in a high pressurized like under. Damn.
Oh, you almost had it.
In the sub, whatever.
Yeah, that line. Most likely to have been in a submarine. I was gonna think Cap, but
I was gonna
like,
say Cap too.
Would Cap?
I would think so, but
yeah,
he's literally the only person probably.
Yeah.
Maybe Widow. Yeah. Maybe Hawkeye.
Widow, yeah, Hawkeye.
But I mean,
it has to be one of those characters. It has to be a Shield affiliated.
If you think about it, none of the heroes have no reason to be inside a submarine.
This is true. Yeah, like Tony. They all could have been in a submarine. Who knows?
He literally can just use his suit underwater.
I feel like Ant-Man would shrink down and be in a submarine sandwich.
That's technically answering the question.
I'm saying. Thank you.
Yeah.
And then yeah, right? Yeah. Ant-Man on sub sandwich. Yeah. I'm gonna go with it. And so this next one is kind of a big one. It was so what are you excited for most next in the MCU, right? And so we got a couple of responses to this, and listener Nats H14 said Eternals, no brainer. Ariel Tima, Hawkeye 100% emoji. Spidey, 99.9%, LOL.
Only 99.9%? What's the other 0.01?
It's to Hawkeye. The Hawkeye 100.1. And then Vibranium Quinn. Or is that Queen? I guess it's Queen. All of them, which I readily agree with. So do you have one that you're like...
Eternals.
Yeah.
Eternals. I mean, yeah, No Way Home is going to be insane.
Yeah.
Hawkeye is probably going to be insane and funny and just like...
Lucky!
Yeah, like... But Eternals, I'm just like... First of all, Gemma Chan.
Gemma Chan, let's salute.
Gemma Chan. Playing like a powerful...
Cersei.
The powerful Cersei.
Yeah.
And then your girl... Angelina.
Thina.
I just love the diversity of the actors in that movie, and then
Two Snows.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah.
Yeah. And then,
Starks.
And just like the amount of star power already in that movie, not even like the story, you don't know anything. Just the amount when that cast was announced, I was like, how did you get Angelina Jolie and Salma Hayek in this movie? What the hell?
That's what my dad said.
I was just like, bro, like,
yeah.
Those are like the queens of like Hollywood.
Hollywood, yeah.
Like,
easily.
So I'm just very excited for that. And then after seeing the trailers and the visuals of it, you're just kind of like, and you don't know anything about them. Like you don't know like their powers. Like you don't.
Right.
So it's like it's really fresh, and I love that. And so I'm excited for that.
Well, that's the interesting thing, especially because like when Iron Man and Cap and all of them were being released, it was so early. I mean, they cemented the base of what is the MCU now. And so by the time that something like Guardians of the Galaxy came out, you kind of had this established like universe kind of happening. Yes. You weren't so sure. And so I think was that 4 years in or 5 years in at that point?
Yeah.
And so you think about it now with the Eternals, 25 films at their back and like over 10 years of lore that they can rely on if they choose to. And basically... a bona fide, they're gonna make pretty much the equivalent of $1 billion no matter what. Like, imagine having all of that behind you and just casually tossing in Salma Hayek and Angelina Jolie, and then you're like, wow, can this movie fail? Is it just gonna be so mind blowing that it's just like, whoa, holy crap! Like, is there room for failure in that?
Yeah, I just love that this movie is going to. I mean, obviously the movies coming after will also do this as well, but I love that it's expanding the universe, the MCU, like in general, like literally and figuratively.
And I even think in terms of films, because like again, Academy Award winning director Chloe Zhao, and then these so A-listers, and it's so kind of intense, good. And like Guardians, introducing characters that people don't know about. They don't know. Readily familiar. Like you couldn't walk into a Walmart 10 years ago and be like, oh, there's an Icarus like figure. There's a Cersei figure.
Those are going to be the dopest because it comes out in November. It's going to be the dopest Halloween costumes.
Oh, it's so cool. I was looking at that earlier too. I like had to zoom in.
Yeah, because pictures just came out of like their costumes in detail, and I was like, this is really cool. Like,
and it's so I can't wait to see them more in action too, because you just looking at them, it's almost like it's like armor, and that they would be really tough rubber or something. But you can tell they're also pliable. Yeah. So I'm like, what the heck did they do?
What is this?
Yeah, it's incredible.
Yeah, you get like a squad like for Halloween. You have like 10 people. And you just...
Who would you be?
Oh, I like Gilgamesh.
Yeah?
Yeah, either him or I forget Brian Tyree's character.
Yeah. I don't remember his name.
I don't know his name, but I mean, hey, I'll be Athena's too. Like, she has like this head thing too going on.
Yeah.
And then she has like this transparent shield and sword.
Yeah, because she's like a goddess of weaponry, so she can conjure weapons.
That's sick.
Yeah, and so I would definitely like, and this is how much I miss going to conventions, because like my second or third or fourth or fifth thought was like, damn, I'd love to see a cosplayer pull that off. Like, because like some cosplayers are like amazing, and
that'd
just to see these like
that'd be cool to see like have people dress up as the Eternals, and then there's just one person that's just dressed as a Celestial.
Yes,
like a giant on stilts. Celestial.
Yeah. Oh, it's like stuff like that has been done before, and that's why I'm just like, man,
that would be sick.
That would be so sick.
But yeah, Eternals it's my most anticipated one.
I don't even know.
Yeah.
For me, I don't.
There's a lot of good ones.
I know.
Not your boy Hawkeye.
Hawkeye or Spidey for sure. But the thing is, like I've said before, like the way that I treat Spidey,
I know, because
my love is so intense that I have to go in with the lowest bar imaginable.
That's true. Very true. I try to go with the lowest bar imaginable for any of these movies or shows.
Path of least resistance.
Yeah.
Because that, and someone said, I saw a tweet about it, like a week or two ago, and saying like, unfortunately, like fandoms are toxic. They're the epitome of toxic. But there's something about,
I agree.
There's something about the Spider-Man fandom that it's either great or it's the worst thing on the planet. And honestly, I kind of agree, because like it's like the trailer is a testament, like the amount of like the fact that like it just goes to like crazy levels of like dissection and scrutinizing and opinions and judgment immediately.
I think that's been like
it's
how it's been for the MCU now in the last.
Oh, for sure.
Let's say I would say since maybe like right before Infinity War, maybe, or maybe I don't know, maybe even before that. Yeah. But like ever since, like especially like the social media era has like boomed hard. Mm-hmm. Everyone's just like, oh, I don't like that, or I don't like that, and it's just like, well, suck it.
And
write it yourself. Yeah. Every time I see say like, oh, I wish they would have done, I'm like, write it, write your version,
produce it,
pitch it.
Hire Angie.
See if you can get a meeting with
Get
Feige.
The money.
Yeah.
Marketing.
Like, dude, like, come on, like, just.
Yeah, exactly, and that's the thing. And so I feel like I've kind of like charted through this like crazy territory of Spider-Man fandom since like Spider-Man 3, Tobey Maguire style. You know what I mean? It's been like this for it just keeps getting worse because people have more accessibility to ensure that what they're saying.
Yeah, you know what or a topic that keeps coming back that I see pretty often, and it kind of takes me off just because it's like, yeah, I'm sure we would all love to see that, but it's kind of just like, that's not the story at hand. Mm-hmm. It's when so after the Hulk gets his butt whooped by Thanos in Infinity War, right? And then
in the beginning,
and then he's Banner the rest of the way, right? And then in Endgame he becomes Smart Hulk, but he's like this changed character of like, he's like, I'm not really I'm not an angry guy anymore. I'm Hulk, but I'm still Banner, but with the strength of Hulk. He combined it, whatever. Right. People always say like, man, like it was whack because I really wanted to see the Hulk get his revenge on Thanos. Like,
why is it always about revenge?
Yeah, or like revenge. Go have that one-on-one fight again because he got his butt whooped in the first one.
It's not a redemption story.
And I'm kind of just like. Yeah. I get it. It's not Hulk's story though.
Exactly. And that could be true. But it's also like
everybody else. He's also the only person that was able to withstand the power of the gauntlet.
Yeah.
And it's like,
yeah,
you know, like,
yeah.
So like that one always ticks me off for some reason because I'm just like, dude, that's like not the story.
Yeah.
Like maybe in another universe there is, you know, there is a where like Hulk is like, screw this, I'm going back and I'm kicking Thanos' ass. But it just wasn't the story that needed to be told.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of just like, oh, you guys suck.
No. Yeah, that's unfortunately the logic for a lot of people is if it's not what they imagined, therefore it isn't good. And it's like, no, you kind of got to get that out of your head because it's not up to you necessarily.
Yeah.
You know, it's like it's kind of how you perceive it and how you digest that and what you take away from it. And you know, you gotta look at it like, hey. Cool.
Yeah, I always like that's why when people ask me like, oh, how'd you like that movie? They're always expecting like, ooh, I loved it, or like, oh, I didn't think it was that great. I think I don't know who said this. Maybe it was Scott Terrison who said this. It was just like it was kind of just like, and like another. I think James Gunn maybe also just because like I didn't enjoy something.
James Gunn did.
This doesn't mean that work of art is horrible.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, a creative person, an artist, came up with this concept. Whether the studio got involved, whether it didn't, the first Suicide Squad, you know,
zing a ding ding.
whether or not they created something that they had an intention, you know, and they tried to get that intention and convey that intention as best as they could through all stages of filmmaking. So it's kind of like. Did you like it? Was it what you expected? Maybe not, but that wasn't like your take of a film or whatever piece of art is not the artist's take.
Right.
They're putting out like what they think is,
or let alone intention.
It's their interpretation. You know, a good example is Todd Phillips' Joker.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
It was a great movie and a great interpretation of Joker because we've seen Joker being played like thousands of times, and everyone is a different interpretation, and everyone is quote unquote good or bad depending how you look at it. But at that time, it was that director's interpretation of that character.
Right.
So it's like that's why I never said like oh, the movie was horrible or the movie was. It was like good or whatever. I just be like, I was like, oh, like I think I'll just say it. I think I would just say it did its job. Like,
interesting.
Did I think?
Yeah, good choice words.
Yeah, like the movie did its job. It told the story that it wanted to tell.
Yeah.
Was there growth or was there not growth? And it's kind of just like the artist.
Yeah.
Did what they wanted to do.
Right.
You know, in the time that they had.
Exactly.
Which is also a very big factor. Too.
Yeah.
Time and money is a very big factor in movies.
Exactly. So to answer that question, I think I'm very excited for Hawkeye, actually. And what is it, 8 episodes?
I think so, 8 episodes,
8 episodes. So I'm ready for 8 hours of Clint Barton and Kate Bishop being complete messes.
Deserves it.
They're absolute messes, yeah.
We're going to see kind of, I would assume it's kind of like a little bit of a closure of Clint's story, maybe.
Yeah,
I don't know. But the start of Kate Bishop's story into being an Avenger maybe, or a young Avenger or whatever.
Yeah, I definitely think that's the game. That's the game that's the end game that I see. Is that
up there? That's the end game.
He snaps. How dare you, sir? And so that's kind of like the end of this episode. I did, if you will allow me to, I wanted to give a comic book shout out. Really quick.
Please.
Because I have worked with some really incredible people, especially in the last 5 years or so. And so I just wanted to give a shout out to Cadence Comic Art, Paolo, Andrew, Corey, and the crew. They've brought me along on a lot of shows in the past, but we just went to North Carolina a couple of months ago for my first convention since pandemic, which was crazy. And Paolo's got such an incredible array of artists under his helm. A few of which are Joelle Jones, for instance, who I helped, and she's currently the artist for, or she was the artist for Catwoman, and now she's doing Wonder Woman and Wonder Girl. Aaron Cooter, Tula Lotte, and of course my BFF Robbie Rodriguez. And another company that I'm actually working for, Wave Blue World, independent comic publisher, Tyler and Wendy Chin Tanner. They're an amazing power couple, and they publish a lot of independent stories and some featured artists that you may or may not have heard of, and all original stories that are just so tremendous. And so I wanted to give a shout out to them. To them both.
Hell yeah.
So please go follow them and check out their stuff.
Sing to me, Paolo. That's like the first thing that came to my head when you said his
Incredible.
name.
I love it. So good. And so next up, we're gonna jump back into character studies. And and I think we're gonna, because Sony pushed up the film to October 1st.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna cover Venom.
We gotta do
our
the
first big like foray the right word into Sonyverse.
Yeah.
And so we're gonna do Venom.
Now I gotta watch the movie.
This is
I told Dai told me she texted me, I think, like a week or two ago.
Yep.
She was like, do you want to go and watch Venom 2? Like, because Dai always gets the movie tickets for us on opening day. And she was like, do you want to come with me? And I was just like, so now I think I'm going to I'm gonna have to see it. I'm probably not with Dai, but I'm just gonna go and watch it.
You gotta watch it somehow.
Because also, side note, I heard there was a fan screening of Venom 2. Huh. And these people spoiled the post-credit scene on Twitter. I did not see it because it obviously got taken down right away.
But you know what it is.
I don't know what it is.
Oh, you don't?
I don't know because it just got. But I was seeing that people at least like some of the comic writers and comic people on Twitter, they're like, dude, if they're gonna let you do a early fan screening, the least you can do is not spoil the movie. And there was a video of Tom Hardy because he went to the screening. He literally said, whatever you see here, guys, keep it in here.
Yeah.
So it's kind of just like, you just basically said, F you, Tom Hardy.
Literally.
I'm spoiling this.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't think we saw that with Shang-Chi. And they did the same spiel. And they've done that at every screening that I've ever been to. They're like,
and with the embargo and everything too, it's like,
oh my gosh.
I know.
That's terrible.
I did not
How
see it. So I was
they?
just kind of like, okay, well now I'm curious to see what this scene is.
As long as you see the first one, or have you seen the first one?
I think I have.
Refresh yourself
when it was
on the first one.
When it was on on TV and everything, doing his TNT runs,
Yeah.
But I think when the first one came out, it was kind of just like I was gonna watch it, then it came out, and I waited a little bit to see what people said, and people were just like. It didn't get a rave review.
No.
From out of the gate.
Did I ever tell you when I first saw it?
I think so. What happened?
They brought me to the premiere.
Okay.
So I got to go to the premiere as part of work.
Yes.
And so I got to see it then.
Okay.
And of course, granted, people at the premiere aren't as receptive as a grip of fans in the theater.
Sure.
But I digress. There were the theater was half fans, and yeah.
There was just
it was crickets a lot. It was crickets a lot.
Yeah.
I was near the back, and I found myself being the only person actually reacting because I'm that fan.
Yeah.
And so they dropped Jameson's name, and I was like, ha! And then he's an astronaut, and I was like, ha! And if you don't know John Jameson, J. Jonathan, Jebediah.
Yes.
Jebediah.
Yes.
JJJ's, Triple J's son is an astronaut who is a werewolf and stuff, whatever.
Nice.
But they mentioned him in the film.
Yeah.
And so I was like, and I'd be receptive to all this, and cool.
Nice
no one else was
nice
doing
little tidbit there.
And then when it finished, usually you get the thing.
Yeah.
Everybody just got up and was like, "Hey, I heard there's free Powerade.
There's free swag.
Free
what's
Powerade.
up?
Yeah, what's up?"
So
I
know I had to refresh.
I still did go see it again. I saw it when it actually opened.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to refresh. Maybe I'll just go on YouTube.
No, hard same.
YouTube clip it.
Hard same. And so I think we'll actually have this episode. Yeah, we'll have this episode right after it comes out. So the Venom episode then.
All right. So I'm definitely gonna have to see it. Yeah.
I think we're recording. We might be recording right before or right after the movie comes out, so I'll have seen it at least.
Okay.
Hopefully.
Okay. For sure. I will definitely get myself up to go and see it.
You'll find a way.
I also do love Tom Hardy. Tom Hardy's an incredible actor, and
he's
you can really tell this is his character. This is his movie.
Oh, he's great.
He wants to be of Venom.
Yeah.
Sorry, Topher Grace. Suck it.
Blah. Anyway.
Yep.
Thanks for listening.
Thank you guys for tuning in to us just ramble on for about an hour, a little over an hour.
Rambly.
We love this. We love these.
This.
Yeah.
Reminder, we have Patreon. If you'd like to become a Patreon patron, please sign up at patreon.com/STRKCNTRST, which is what you can find us on social as well.
Yep.
Just type up A Stark Contrast. We come up everywhere. Just a reminder, we're also on Amazon Music and Audible, once again.
Yep.
If those are your places, please subscribe there. Don't forget to rate as well. And then We Are Groot salute. Shout out to special Patreon tier. Joe Liz wrote... Oh my gosh, let me do that again.
Wow, on the second name. Wow. Yes. Nice.
We Are Groot salute to the special Patreon tier. Joe Liz, Robin, Ed, Melanie, Claire, Jenny, and Andrew.
Woo!
And that's it.
Woo! Another episode in the books.
That's right.
All right, guys. We will see you in the next one.
Toodaloo.
Bye.
Bye.
I bet you've built the perfect safe house. I mean, what's this even made of? Vibranium?